like animals and all that. Those are not Israelites. They are Hamitic people, entirely different family. But they'll put it on TV so you'll say so that they can point to these people as you. Yeah, see y'all, I saved y'all. Y'all better be lucky y'all came over in those ships. Look over there. And some of you be like, man, thank God I'm an American. You are a slave, a high-tech slave. Get Luke, the one we got the other day. Yeah, Luke 21 and start at 19. You got that?
Mm-hmm.
Read it. Well, make sure they get it first. Luke 21 and 19. Read that.
Luke 21 and 19. And your patience possessing your souls.
Hold up. That ain't it.
Verse 20.
Yeah, read 20. Yeah.
Verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies.
When you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies. We're going to show you when that happened. Read.
Then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
Know that your land is about to be destroyed or sacked. Read.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains.
So, if you're in Judea, you would flee where?
To the mountains.
The real Jews fled over the Atlas Mountains, which is between Israel and Africa. So, the Christians that are following Christ, when they read this, they should ask, well, who are these people that fled over those Atlas Mountains? This is Christ speaking. If they're following Christ. Read.
And let them which are in Judea, which are in the midst of it, depart out. And let not them that are in the countries there enter thereinto.
See that? They shut the borders. Read.
For these be the days of vengeance.
These be the days of vengeance. Read.
That all things which are written may be fulfilled.
Go ahead.
But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there should be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people.
So wrath came upon these people. Who took them down? Europeans, Romans. I'm going to read it out of Babylon in Timbuktu. Read.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
They shall fall by the edge of the sword. Read.
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
Shall be what?
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
Fulfilling Deuteronomy 28 and 64. They shall be scattered amongst all nations. So now here is the events starting the captivity of Judah. To begin the captivity of Judah, it happened in 70 AD. From Babylon to Timbuktu. This book right here was written by a scholar, a professor here that studied here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Rudolph R. Windsor. He went outside the country and studied, and to his amazement, he figured that these people are he found out that his people were Jews. And you find this out when you leave the country, because all the other nations know already. All right, they know in other countries. Okay. Okay. Now, let me get this real quick. Here he is right here. Rudolph R. Windsor. Okay. Now the book is a good book. He go off on who Esau is. He say Esau is Japheth. Besides that, everything else is pretty tight. I'm going to read page 84. In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus, which are Romans, put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves. Who are we? The children of those black Jew slaves. Now, of course, if we're going into Africa, We're not going to pick up the mess they're dealing with. We took our culture and laws with us. It tells you this on page 90. The black Jews had an advantage over the African tribes. They carried their culture, history, laws, and written records with them. This assured them a constant precedent for the development of a highest social organization. Because of the stability of the black Jew culture, the Jews were not absorbed into the Antiochist population. In fact, the Jews absorbed some of the native tribes. So they started following what we were doing. We wasn't following no Africans. The Jews made use of every opportunity. They were an industrious and skillful people. In the Jewish Ghanaian states were found kings, princes, governors, generals, secretaries, treasurers, revenue agents, judges, architects, engineers, doctors, historians, language interpreters, mathematicians, jewelers, sculptors, masons, carpenters, painters of art, goldsmiths, leather workers, potters, armorers, saddlers, blacksmiths, agriculturalists. Then it says, etc. Should have went etc. a long time ago. Right? But I'm just showing you that. All right? They make you think that we were pulled over here to become civilized, when really it was because of us this place became civilized. Don't think that Benjamin Franklin discovered electricity with a kite, a string, and a key. All right? They was taking all these inventions. We were playing with electric before we came over here. And that's in history. The only thing they did was put their name on the patent. Okay?
I got mad. I said, well, why ain't nothing black guy keep the house? He said, you crazy, you go back in those days. If he said this black guy, he constructed and he made the house.
Yeah.
He said, he was saying that the black man told him that, he took it.
Yeah.
So he
Of
said,
course.
I put your name on the house.
Of course. Of course. There was a guy even during the drafting of the Declaration of Independence. His name was Benjamin Banneker. You probably heard of him. He was a brother. He designed, even though he was a Mason, a straight Satanist, they ended up getting him. He designed the construct of Washington, D.C. That whole thing you see, he designed it. So, yeah, he designed the architect down in Philadelphia. Now, in order for you to build the greatest civilization, you have to get the people that were enslaved in these great civilizations. Egypt wasn't all that until the Israelites built everything you see. Okay, in Egypt. How do you know that? When Israelites left, no new pyramids. Okay? That was it. Yeah. All those great things you see that was built. Once God's people leave, it's over. Okay? Now, finish reading what you have in Luke. Luke chapter and verse.
21 and 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword. Read.
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
And shall be led away captive into all nations. Read on.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles.
Of the who?
Of the Gentiles.
So who's in Israel today? Gentiles. Gentiles. Read.
Until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Until the Most High say that's it. And we're in the times of the Gentiles. So the people over there fighting over the land, the Palestinians and the Jewish people, the land don't belong to either of them. Okay? And that lets you know that they're not the Jews. Because if that was their land, they wouldn't have to fight over it. Okay?
What's that guy named?
The ambassador?
Yeah.
Gumnal Nasser. Gumnal Nasser, the Egyptian ambassador of Egypt said, listen, how can the Jews leave Israel black and come back white? Okay? He said that's why they started fighting against him. How can the Jews leave? They know who the Jews are. Right here in this book, Arthur Koestler, 13th Tribe, this guy, he was in hiding because he was a Jewish guy that found out. He was a historian. and he found out that the Jews were black that are suffering the curses in the earth today. And he said, in order for the Jewish people to be the real Jews, there would have to be a 13th tribe, and we know there's only 12. Let me read this real quick out of here. It says, let me get it. I'm on page 67. This is, of course, is inspired by the story of the covenant in Genesis. And it implies that the Khazars, that's who they are within Israel today, too claimed the status of a chosen race, who made their own covenant with the Lord, even though they were not descended from Abraham's seed. He tell you, they don't come from the chosen seed. Right? And there's more. Hold up here. One moment. There's a lot of good stuff in here. One day I'm going to have a study just on this book alone. One moment. It says right here, I'm on page 22, talking about the Jewish people. Now, he wrote about his own people, so you can't blame this on us. All right? It says, this Yaqubi, a 9th century Arab historian, traces the origin of the Khazars back to Japheth. But we know they're not Japheth. How do we know that? Because they're from the mountains. The original Japhetic people are Asians. Okay? So that's not true. That Arab was off. All right? The Asians were pushed further east after the wars of Hyrcanus. The Idumeans were fighting against the Asians. That's why near the mountains of Russia now you see dark-skinned, almost black Chinese people. The Mongols and all of them, they were in Europe first. Okay? Esau was in the mountains. The Caucasus Mountains and in Mount Seir. Now it says here, while other legends connect them with Abraham or Alexander the Great. Now we know Alexander the Great was who? He was a European. Okay? Now, it mentions Khazars in a list of people who inhabited the region of the Caucasus. Other sources indicate that they were already much in evidence a century earlier and intimately connected with the Huns. So they were straight Caucasoids. They had nothing to do with Israel at all. And when they got the land, okay, they got the land through the UN. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that the government of the earth was going to set Israel up. The Most High is going to set Israel up. All right? Now, go to Romans 11 and 11. What's that? Yeah, I get that too. Ready? First of all, the Jewish people shouldn't have received anything. Okay, because number one, they're using the captivity of our people in our book to get reparations for a European spat. How should the whole earth bail you out for one European family, the Germans fighting against you? That don't make any sense. And then going to say that they're the people of the Bible. Who's standing up and saying, well, hold up, since they gave these Jewish people something, how much should the other people that have suffered a greater Holocaust receive?
Your entry
Ready?
is not
Read
valid.
Romans 11 and 11. Read that.
Romans 11 and 11. I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall?
Shall Israel stumble that they should fall? That means